This is TWiT.
All right, so yes, we've got the presidential alert that was supposed to happen, I think, 2 days from now, right? But that's been pushed back.
Correct. It was going to be Thursday, but what was it? Hurricane Florence, I think that was her name.
Yeah.
We're still recovering from that. FEMA's busy, didn't want to and I think they probably worried that if somebody got something that says presidential alert on their phone while a lot of people were literally underwater, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's been pushed back to October 3rd. So we have two things. There's the National EAS, which is the Emergency Alert System, which I don't know about you, Jason, but it just drives me nuts when I get this.
Yep.
Oh my God! On my cable switches over and everything stops, and it's just okay, thank you. And they say it's monthly, but it seems like it's a lot more often than that. So that's existed for a long time. What hasn't, and it's been tested. I had it in the notes 3 times previously in there it is, on November 2011, September 2016, and September 2017 is this an emergency alert system different from what we're getting on our cable boxes. What's new is called WEA, which is wireless emergency alerts, which will be tested for the first time beginning at 2:18. How they chose that time, I have no idea. Not 17, not 19. We're going to do this at 2:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
There must have been a reason.
On October 3rd. So who knows? Yeah. So what does that make it? That's Pacific time. That's 11:18 a.m. for us on the West Coast, 2:18 p.m. on the East Coast in the U.S. And so what happens is, starting at that time, for approximately 30 minutes, every cell tower in the United States that's hosted by participating wireless carriers, and more than 100 carriers are participating. I mean, they didn't say everyone, but it probably, it has to be all of them. And so what will happen is our phones will give us a text message with the header reading presidential alert, and text that reads in first four words is all caps. This is a test, which is a good way to start, of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed. And we're told that the phones, first of all of our phones have this capability built in, which has never been exercised. So the assumption is that we'll get, during the 30-minute continuous broadcast, the phone will only give us one text message, let's hope, and that all phones within range will receive that one text message. So anyway, I'm sure we'll talk about it in 2 weeks, because 2 weeks from now, it will be the day following that podcast, being a Wednesday. Anyway, it was supposed to be in 2 days. I had it in my notes. I double checked. They'd moved it. It's okay, we'll talk about it anyway, and then remind everybody in 2 weeks.
I know these things are important, and I know that it's important to set it up. I will point out that this is Android Pie, and there is I don't know if there's any sort of over-the-shoulder camera, so I'll just kind of show you from a distance. There is an emergency alerts section in settings where you can toggle on or off the different types of settings, the different types of alerts. So Amber Alerts, extreme threats, severe threats. I have an entry there for required monthly test, and I have that off so I don't get the monthly test one. So maybe check on your phone and see if there's a way to switch that one off. But there is nothing in here where you could turn this particular warning off. The presidential one guaranteed comes through, from what I understand.
Correct.
Yeah.
And really, in our wired world today, if there were something that was of
major,
absolute national consequence, we want something like this. And given that everybody's walking around with cell phones, that's the way to get a message out to everyone. I mean, you have to be very, very, very careful with how you handle it. Well, I mean, we know what happened in Hawaii.
Yeah,
when the guy pressed the wrong button, and in Hawaii thought they were under attack. So I was like, okay.
I mean, could you even imagine what that must have been like to get that message and not get any sort of an update to it for like, 30 minutes, an hour? I can't remember how long it took, but people for a very considerable amount of time assumed that it was real.
They thought missiles were in the air, and it's like, oh goodness.
Yeah.